Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. Welcome back to my channel. This is a fairly quick and simple video, but I have not made ammonites for a while on my channel. I actually forgot to record the intro before I made a start here, but what I've done there is chosen 3 of the Let's Resin chameleon powders and popped those in the mold. But I want to use these 3 larger ammonites, and I'm probably going to turn them into fridge magnets because I've got a ton of necklaces already. But in these I'm going to use the Just For You Online Opal Flakes. These molds are from Red Hot Moulds. I'll try to link them below. They're absolutely beautiful. Now these are matte, which is kind of how fossils look anyway, and these opal flakes have got some slightly chunkier fragments in them, so they're different from the Let's Resin mica powders that I've used extensively since I got them. These I've played with a little bit, and they are very different because they don't give you like a smooth uniform colour. They're like a mixture of mica powder and flakes, and some of them will leave like little blobs on the surface, and the colour shift in them is really quite striking. You'll just get a deposit of certain colours. It'll be like a slightly bigger fragment, and overall it does kind of give you that effect of opals. It's really pretty. So I've played with them a little bit. I want to see how they come out in this matte mould and compare it to what the pendants look like that I've made with it. So when I've added this into the mould, I'm going to back them with J Diction 4-hour cure epoxy purely for speed, coloured with the Vista black liquid pigment. You can add up to 2% of that, and the darker the background, the more prominent the bright colours will be. So pretty simple. I'm just going to take my sponge applicator and see how I get on with that. I normally use a bristle brush, but I'm going to try it with the sponge, and I'm going to add one of each of these. Now what I'm going to do to stop overspill, I'm going to, obviously that's on its own, I'm going to cover one side of this with masking tape while I do the other. That way I won't have any like massive cross contamination, but I will probably put the brightly coloured ones in one mould and do this pale opal in the big one, and hopefully it'll turn out beautifully. So let's get started. You can see the fragments of this flying around in the light probably. Oh, my brush just picked up tons of these flakes. So you can probably see that there are loads of these kind of iridescent flakes in here. It's quite different from any other pigment powder that I have. It's a bit like the dichromatic film actually, that's been really finely shredded. It's the only way I can kind of describe it. It's like the almost, you can buy the iridescent kind of packing paper, shredded paper that you can put in gift bags and stuff. It's a bit like that, but there is a kind of greenish colour shift to it. So I'm really intrigued to see what this is going to come out like with the black resin on the back. This is quite an intricate mould. It is incredibly detailed. They are really good quality. I bought these way back at the beginning of my resin journey. Possibly one of the first 2 videos I did on my channel. I'd seen Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner make ammonites in different colours, and I'm like, right, I'm here for this. I need those in my life. And I now have loads of these in my life because I've made tons of pendants and fridge magnets, and yeah, I love ammonites so much. So I'm going to try to make sure that I've got that pigment all the way up the sides in all of these little grooves. See, it is flying absolutely everywhere. Looking really gold on camera, but it's very green to the naked eye, so you can see from the lid what it's going to look like with a black background, and you can see in there it's got those flakes of iridescent colour in them. So I think it was easier with a brush, to be honest, than with the sponge applicator, but good to know for experience. So on these smaller one, I've taped off one side. So I'm going to go in with this teal sort of coloured one on the left, then the purpley blue, well it's just purple actually, but there is a colour shift to it as well, but we'll see how it turns out on a matte mould. So I'm going to do the same thing, just pick some up on the brush. So you can see inside is this one as well, it's got these chunky flakes, and they seem to kind of stick by different amounts, so you don't get a fully uniform finish quite the same way that you do with other flakes. Well, oh, this is the only flakes I have with the mica. Over. That is fully coated now, so if any of the more purpley one does get across to the other side, it shouldn't matter because that's not what's stuck to the silicone, but it's good to just try to not have them cross-contaminating each other. So this one does have a colour shift at that angle, it's a kind of purple and green. It looks really oh, it's a sort of purple and blue. It looks different at different angles. It's really interesting. It is absolutely stunning. If you look inside the pot, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Wow, at this angle, that colour shift is bright green. Awesome. So it's really pink, but at the right angle I can just see a green sheen to it. So that hopefully will translate onto the final piece. It looks amazing. The colours are really intense in these. Now I know they are chunky and work slightly differently to other pigments. I really like the way that they're looking in this mould. Kind of wishing I hadn't filled the others with mica now, with the colour shifting mica. Okay, that looks awesome. I'll see if I can show you on camera what I'm seeing there. So hopefully as I'm tilting this, you can see that there is a greenish colour shift alongside the purple, and the other side can't see the colour shift too well on that one, but they look so beautiful. So on this one I believe that was Galaxy, but I might be wrong, I can't remember, I didn't keep a note. That I think was Olive, that may have been the magenta one. I've got a bit of flake in there. Okay, so I'm just going to tap them to get off the excess powder. I'm going to go and mix off my resin. This is fast cure resin, it's very prone to bubbles, so I'm going to mix my resin up super slowly, add the pigment, make sure it's thoroughly dispersed, and then I'll be back to pour it. Good morning. It's been 13 hours since I poured these now, so looking forward to seeing how th've come out. I've got my magnets ready. I don't know where these came from. A friend Alex sent them to me. She had them and didn't want them anymore. I've tested these and they're quite strong, so with the bigger ammonite, because they're resin, they're not very heavy. When I've made myself a fridge magnet before, I put 3 magnets on the big one, but 1 should be enough for these other ones, because these are pretty strong magnets. So I've no idea where they came from. I don't know what they are. They're just little magnets. I guess you'll be able to get them from Amazon. So I'm going to do the small ones first. So let's see how these turned out. So these were the Let's Resin Chameleon powders, and I can't actually for certain remember what colours I used, but they are really pretty. So although there is the metallic kind of hint to them, because it's a matte mould, you don't get that super shiny kind of finish, and I actually really like that for ammonites. They're so pretty. I just want to make them all into necklaces because I love all the colours. So these are the Chameleon Opal Flakes that I got from Just For You Online. I've got a few air pockets in there. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. That is stunning. Okay, so these, they've got a slight unevenness about them because they've got those chunks in there, and I really like the effect that it gives. Now the colour shift isn't showing particularly well in this light, but I'll take them somewhere else and show you them later on. It's interesting that this was the one that just had what looked like white, but the colour shift on that is insane. It's so beautiful. That has not come out the way that I thought it would. I don't know if you can see up close, but there are kind of fragments that stay chunky, so it gives you a different way that the light hits, and it's kind of beautiful. It's really beautiful. So I don't know if you can kind of see the difference between the bigger ones and the small one. The bigger ones are just, I mean, they're opal flakes, so those chunks are supposed to simulate what you kind of get in opal stones. But this one is really nice. I think that might have been the olive, the one that looks gold when it's on a white background but goes this super duper green. It's darker green in real life. There's a kind of green yellow shift to it. It's so nice. I actually love this one. That has a colour shift, blue to lilac. Oh, they're so pretty. This though, I don't know if I can actually turn that into a fridge magnet. I think I need to make that into a necklace for myself. That's so beautiful. I can't get over that. Oh my god. So on a long cord, I think this is going to have to be a necklace. I can't part with that. It's going to be a necklace for me. So I'll get my drill out and put an eyelet hook in there. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Love, love, love. So for these, I am gonna turn them into fridge magnets. I've got so many ammonite necklaces already, and nobody ever buys any. So I'm gonna add a magnet. So these are really light, so I'm pretty sure 1 magnet will be strong enough. And I'm just going to use this Loctite Superglue Power Gel, which I bought recently from Sainsbury's. So they sell it in supermarkets. I'm sure you can get it from Amazon as well. So this stuff is a gel, so it bonds really quickly. It bonds to your skin really quickly, so be super, super careful about that. So I'm going to put a blob in the middle of each of these. It's not going to need a lot. I'm going to separate them a little bit because these magnets are quite strong. I don't want them to attract each other. That's the magnets on. So I need my eyelet hooks, and I'm going to add probably one of the slightly larger eyelet hooks in there. I've changed my mind. I'm going to use one of the biggest glue-on bales that I have. It fits quite nicely on the back, so I want it to hang kind of like that. Right, I'm going to leave those to fully cure for a couple of hours before I mess with them, just to be certain that the glue has fully cured. Then I will stick them on something metal and show you what they look like in a different light, because the colour shift doesn't always show up as well when you're near a window. So here are the pieces finished that I made in the video just now. Don't rush off anywhere yet, because I want to show you these in different lights, but I also want to show you the difference it makes putting a white background on those same pigments. And afterwards I'm going to show you some pendants that I made using these powders in a different way, just to show you the versatility that this product has. It's just extraordinary, just how different the colours look, the colour shift looks, the overall texture looks. They really just are mind-blowing. So top left, both the white one and the green one were done with those white flakes with the iridescent chunks. On the right hand side there, the purpley ones were done with a white background at the top and a black background at the bottom. Both are beautiful in both cases, but so different. And when you've got it in a bright light near a window like this picture versus what they look like in a more subdued light on the side of our fridge, the difference is really very, very stark. And I keep repeating myself, but it's really just amazing what a difference it does make, just having the different angles and the different color backgrounds. And I've just done this with black and white. I imagine you could get a whole raft of effects if you put different colors on the back of these. They're just amazing. And this particular mold, having the kind of domed spiral and all the grooves, really lends itself to a color shifting product, because you end up seeing all of those different tones just in one piece really easily because of how three-dimensional it is. And just tilting them, you can really see the colors. And on my fridge, as you walk past, it's constantly changing. Now don't go away, because I'm going to show you these pigments used in a different way on a pendant, and again just to show the versatility that these powders have. Right, I just wanted to dig out a couple of other pieces that I've used this on, because I just find it really interesting how differently these pigments look with different backgrounds. As you've just seen in the video, black background gives you this really beautiful colour shifting greeny blue. I love it. It's very much a piece of me. I was doubting myself whether this was actually the same pigment, but it is. I've done it on these polyurethane pieces here. At some angles they just look completely white, and then you tilt them and you get the pink in one direction, the green in the other. But there are some bigger chunks in there. They're just really lovely. When I made these, I dusted the mould first and then put polyurethane. But really interesting how different they look. And on this one here, you can again see the pink to green to white colour shift, which is really beautiful. So I did a clear layer on that one first, I think, and then backed it with white. These two pieces, I used a combination. So I used a little bit of, I think it was this one, the greeny blue and the kind of white flakes. But I've used a combination of different colours to get that spatter effect and just see how they turned out. And I do really like them. They're so interesting because they look completely different at every angle. So these pigments are just fascinating. They just are really, really pretty, even with a white background. And they're so different when you put a dark background, so it's kind of hard to believe, ignoring the greeny splodges on these, that all of these pieces were made with that same pigment. Like, it blows my mind slightly. How how can they do this? It's just amazing. There's so much versatility with these. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. Saw they were on offer and picked them up, and I'm so glad I did. I was in two minds because I already have chameleon powders, and I was thinking, how different can they be? Very is the answer. They are completely different from normal chameleon powders. I really do just love those kind of odd fragments that catch the light differently. They're just beautiful. So I hope you found that video helpful. I know it was primarily about ammonites, but I just wanted to jump on and show you these because I forgot that I'd made them, and I was rooting through a box and found them, and I was like, yeah, that really demonstrates really well. On the matte mould with all the texture, you can barely see those opal flakes, but on the flat surface, shiny mould, they really pop.
So one last look at them again on the fridge, just walking side to side to show you how that colour shift really stands out when you're walking to and from. They're just amazing. I'm also just going to show you the bits of the pigment that had kind of spilled over the sides of the mould, because with the red background on the mould, again, those flakes look completely different. It's mind blowing. I keep saying this over and over again, but these flakes just fascinate me. So here is the mold, and those flakes are just totally different colors on the red than they were with the black or white background. Yeah, mind officially blown. Anyway, that's enough. I'll let you guys go now. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love the ammonites as much as I do. I will try to link my first ammonite video in the description box below if I can't put a card at the top. And I think in that video I actually show you some of our real ammonites, because we are avid fossil collectors here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.